favorite song off Eminem's album?
The new one?
There's only one song out.
Quiet.
Yeah, but
Oh, it's only one song?
Houdini.
But what is that? But what does that got to do with anything?
No, I was just saying.
It was just
the most random question possible to insert there.
He's trying to equate
battle rap. He know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's trying to equate
got
Eminem to battle rap.
Okay.
And he's trying to say battle rappers have no impact because Eminem's new shit trash. Get the fuck out.
Yo, can I just say,
You would have been a battle rapper in your
battle
former
rapper.
life. That's the cool part.
I read that is,
battle rap.
now that I've had some time to spend with it, and I've heard that is the most popular Eminem song of the last 10 years. That is one of the worst songs I've ever heard ever in my life. Like, that song is an abomination. That song represents so many bad decisions made. Like what is it about Eminem that he refuses to grow and he refuses to like become something other than what he has been in the past? That when he makes this grand reemergence, almost no artist that you can think of would be so shameless that they would just sample one of their old records and then just do a bunch of little lyrical whatever on it and just like have that be their new thing. Like the fact that idea was able to be actually like ushered through the label and everything, and that so many people approved of this, to me is just baffling. Well, and the fact that people like it that much.
Well, you know, M has final cut on everything he does.
He runs his own shit.
The label is fired up. M say I'm dropping.
This is the biggest
It's
problem.
5 bars.
But
like,
wouldn't you
let's drop
think
it,
that if
Thanks.
Eminem was actually in charge of his own career, that he would want to do something cool and not something super gay? Because to me, it's just
This
so
nigga.
cringe
Super gay.
to put out your first single is a throwback to the first single that you ever put out. It's like, okay, bro, like why do we have to do this?
Well, look,
because he's white.
He could be
White
tight,
people do
dude.
weird shit.
He could be badass. He doesn't have to do this gay shit.
here's the thing. I know people that are pretty close to M in his camp, and he does not listen to anybody. There is no advice. There's no... Like he has no advisors that he really values the opinion of. He's gonna do what he believes, and if you're not on his timing, you're not gonna be around.
Yeah.
And that's basically what time it is with him. And the thing is this:
That much seems clear. Yeah.
what's unfortunate about M to me is that where he has evolved in his eyes is his delivery, certain aspects of his skill set. He kind of like, I feel like, was influenced by like the Tech Nines of the world.
The
and
only
thinks that
way-
rapping super fast means that
He has grown in one way and one way only, which is that he continues to string really complicated lyrics together.
But
everything else in terms of his artistry has been frozen in time. He has not grown in like 10, 15 years.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I miss the whole like you might see me walking the dead Rottweiler dog with his head cut off. Like I miss that Eminem. You know what I'm
It's like
saying?
drill rap, like it's
Like really, where he would say something complex, but anybody could get it.
Yeah.
He would do it in a way where, and this is where when he had the Bass Brothers engineering his records. This is when he had Dre right there with him. When he's taking.
Oh my God! Imagine Dr. Dre, who has been working like sequestered away, working on music for all these years. We've heard so few records from him over the years. Imagine if he actually has involvement in M's career. Imagine him approving that being the first single. Well, I don't get it. And I don't get how these motherfuckers, I assume it's not our audience, are actually running up those fucking insane streams. Who is listening to this song? I don't get it.
There's
He
people.
has a cult following.
Where are they located? I need to tap in with the cult. I'm thinking that they may have access to K-Bot's bot
They
farm.
are K-Bots. They
Literally.
do look over K-Bot. That's their little homie.
his stands.
Who? Aftermath? Or, excuse me,
Dre.
Shady
He
Aftermath?
came through Dre. I mean,
He
Dre
didn't
was
come
the,
through Dre. That was like
He was
one
the
co-sign at
co-sign.
a concert.
He definitely came through Dre.
Nah.
No.
What records are produced by Dre in Kendrick's career?
It doesn't
How
matter.
many?
Him even being on that Women, Weed, and Weather, him being on that song, that basically is what set K. Dot off.
So one song.
But
I don't know. I mean, there might be a
seminal
lot that I'm
record-
missing out on.
A seminal record right while your
So you
debut
don't-
album,
you don't
major
think
labels
Dre
coming
ever
out.
fuck with K-Dot.
I'm not saying he didn't fuck with him. It just, I feel like, you know, when they say every single rapper from the West Coast has gotten a cosign from Dr. Dre, it's like, it doesn't seem like Kendrick got the biggest cosign, right?
Yeah, it seems like he's up there with one of. I don't know.
It seems kind of minimal from my
because
perspective.
he didn't
Dr.
fuck
Dre-
with nobody in our generation.
Exactly.
For him to
Facts.
even reach out and even get involved at all.
and that's great, and I'm happy for him.
Dr. Dre saying publicly, the keys to the West are yours. We are Like, we are all behind you. That statement held, especially at that time, held a lot of weight. If he says something right now,
Kind of surface level,
if,
though,
if
right?
he did that with X4 right now or whoever,
It'd be
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Get outta
Like,
here.
He don't really say too much.
Like you never hear Dre making statements
God.
of that caliber about anybody.
But doesn't it
there.
just it feels superficial? It feels like when they did that concert and they had Dre and they had Eminem and everybody passed the key to the city down to Kendrick or whatever. It just doesn't feel like there was like a real follow up on that when you think about how easy it would be for him to like produce a couple records for.
Well, he did.
Am I wrong that hasn't really happened?
Well, he did work with him on the NWA soundtrack, the Compton,
Which, by the way, I listened to that a few times when it came out. But is there a more forgettable project in the history of hip hop?
yeah,
When you
yeah,
consider how long people were waiting for that record, and then how prominent Dr. Dre is. I mean, have you heard anyone mention that record in the last 10 years?
No,
It's like
absolutely
from the
not.
moment it came out, people forgot about it.
Yeah, and
But there's like a lot of residual effects of that record because like a lot of people don't realize Anderson .Paak was all over that record. Prior to that, Anderson .Paak was a regional, if not underground artist. Like that literally, there's a lot of things that happen as a result of working with Dre that might not be equivalent to whatever the stream numbers are.
They stole one of my beats for that fucking bullshit they put out. And
Did
the
they?
song that they
Main
used
character
was
syndrome.
straight- No, they did.
I know, but it's still main character syndrome.
Yeah, it is.
Take it outside of the thing we're talking about. Make it about
Yeah,
your own
because we
personal
were talking
involvement.
about how you
gotta
forgot,
throw that out there.
How you forgot? Like, how did they? Everybody forgot about this album, and like one of the songs that I felt like would have went somewhere got canceled.
Scandalous. But
go ahead.
the thing is, like, ultimately, M and Dre both have the same issue. They're so successful, they're completely isolated from society, and they have no, like, M is so out of touch with what the average fan wants to hear and what people are really listening to. Like,
M is only conscious of one way to improve as a musician, which is to put words together in increasingly complicated ways and create increasingly complicated metaphors. And he's also seemingly got a real skill for putting together sort of superficial, surface level pop culture references that might seem kind of edgy to, like, you know, if you've been living under a rock for the last 20 years, but to anybody who's actually like on Twitter, they seem like extremely painfully cringe, which is my main observation when he has like the Meg Thee Stallion line and stuff like that. Like, that was obviously intended to be like the headline getting lyric.
Attention.
But it's like Eminem like is presenting this character on that song where it's like, I'm so edgy, I'm so crazy, you know, I'm so offensive. It's like nowadays everybody's different. Cancel culture rages on, and like, you know, somehow I'm the solution to it. And I'm just like, bro, no, you're literally doing, you know what you're doing? You remember like a couple of years there where like every single comedy special was about cancel culture.
Yeah.
And like every comedy special was called like Trigger Warning or something like that. It's like Eminem thinks that is still like a novel train of thought. And he wants to convince us that he's going to be the remedy to this. And it's like, this is hip hop. Like, we don't really need somebody to like break down the walls of like what's offensive. This is the one section of society in which you're still allowed to be offensive, and you show that with that lyric, but in a very, very superficial way.
that's a docile way. That's
I can basically guarantee that the album is going to have a bunch of like extremely dated trans references and stuff, because we just kind of know that Eminem is at like Joe Rogan's level from 5 years ago.
I don't even know if he's edgy enough to do that. I don't even know if he's got the balls. No pun intended.
He might actually think that the trans shit is off limits. He's gonna. I just feel like it's a certainty that he's gonna address that and many other things in like a really lame gay way.
But the thing is, remember, this is the guy who, at his peak, when we all actually listened to him, was saying things like, hate fags, the answer is yes.
I
Like
think he's gonna say
homophobic,
some-
no, you just heterophobic. He's not going to have anything that's edgier than that.
Exactly.
On this whatsoever. And on top of that, like, from a wordplay perspective, let me explain to all the novices of the world why Shot at a Feet and a Meg Thee Stallion bar is whack from a lyrical perspective. Because nobody ever in casual daily conversation says shot at a feet, where you like, as far as like when you're like, hey, Brick's like, yo, I'm gonna be doing a song with Dirk soon. I might have a shot at the feet. You know what I mean?
No
like,
one would ever say that.
Like,
I agree. Yeah,
that is
it's
not
like a
phrase.
notebook lyric because
exactly.
if you're reading
facts.
it makes a lot more sense. It's like if you see it on Twitter, it makes more sense. I saw it on Twitter before I actually heard it, so it made sense to me immediately. I probably would have got it either way, but either way, it's like it's a fucking stretch.
Like, let me show you what good wordplay is. Like, battle rapper, Rum Nitty, right? Rum Nitty said, and then I'll really say something about like he's gonna shoot somebody, and then I'll really give you justice, a vigilante. Like, so you get a vigil and T, you feel me? And vigilante justice.
That's a bar, yeah.
But a vigilante, that's like actual phrase that'll be used in casual conversation.
But M like has to use
That's forced wordplay.
He has to use popular female artists of the time. Like he always will poke at them rather than go at, like other popular
Other
dude rappers.
Yeah,
like
for
listen,
sure.
if Eminem had a lyric in which he like made fun of Lil Baby
Or someone
Right.
beef with somebody.
now we're talking because that's somebody who can actually fire back at you.
He should beef with somebody.
Yeah, but instead, like the only I think he's poked at like Pump and Zan and shit. Like he'll pick the easiest possible
Yeah.
targets.
Yeah.
That's like what they say about Sharp, but Eminem really lives up to
Does
it.
that shit.
if Eminem like had some bar like against Da Baby,
Not to shoot at church. I'm not going to shoot at the church. Sharp.
here,
I'm not
listen.
saying I agree with that. I'm just saying what they
get
say
my
about
bitch
you
to the
is
key.
actually a very good description of Eminem and the
Eminem.
way he raps.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is the narrative with him. That's why I laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
not the most controversial
Yeah,
narrative.
yeah, like